Okay, you're over.
Then we'll, yeah.
We good to go? Right here, Mr. Okay.
The connection suddenly. Okay.
Okay, gents, before we begin, put away devices. Also, colleagues, when you're up here, I think for the sake not only of being able to project in this room, but also because we're streaming this and families are watching it from all over, it's okay to have your mask off when you're talking. I think it's just easier and everybody can understand you. So, welcome. Here we go, gentlemen. So typically you've got about 150 people in here. They would have just finished the barbecue, but this isn't a typical year. So with Spring Term Awards, it's just the immediate community, teachers, students, but it's still this evening to celebrate all of you and your accomplishments, your effort, your engagement in all four pillars of life at the Woodhull School: academics, arts and athletics, residential life, and communications. We're streaming, so your parents, your relatives, your family is watching. And we're going to begin. And we usually begin with the academic awards. I'm going to have Mr. Funsak present them in a moment. But I want us to take a moment and just pause and reflect and think about where we were in September. Think about where we were last year at this time. We were all holed up watching graduation on video. I, for one, wasn't sure if we were going to be able to reopen the campus. And what was this school year going to look like? How were we going to do it? A year later, we know how we did it. And yes, it's been challenging. And we lost a lot in terms of our traditions, our daily rhythm, our rituals. And we also gained something in terms of resilience and a sense of community that, yes, it's been challenging. And you would say, Mr. Woodhull, the community kind of feels a little bit frayed. I beg to differ. I think we're going to come out of this next year, whether you're a senior and you're moving on, or whether you're a freshman starting your next year at Woodhull. We're going to have, I think, some keener insight on how we're going to work as a community and how we can grow as a community and how we can live and act with our core values of integrity, compassion, and respect. The other thing that's different this year at the Spring Term Awards ceremony is that there's air conditioning. So those of you who are watching streaming, especially if you're a third or fourth year parent, if you can remember back to how sweltering and stultifying the theater is when you have 150 people in here on a June night. And I can't wait for next year when we get back into the theater for graduation. So without further ado, Mr. Funsak.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. And each term we present academic achievement and effort awards in each subject. Achievement award is presented to a student who has exceptionally performed well throughout the term. An effort award is presented to a student who demonstrated a remarkable diligence and sincerity in meeting his commitments in subject in which he is winning the award tonight. So without further ado, I will start presenting the award. I will start with the achievement in English. It's presented to a sophomore, Benjamin Luther Matthews. effort in English is presented to freshman Joshua Solomon Lang. And the next award is Achievement in History, is presented to a junior, Jack Irwin Wells. An effort in history is presented to, again, Benjamin Luther Matthews. An achievement in art is presented to senior Kyle Scott Elliott. And effort in art is presented to another senior, Adam Styler Storrs. And achievement in world language is presented to this freshman who took Latin 2, Theodore John Likoretz. Sorry for my mispronunciation. Thank you. And effort in world language is presented to a sophomore who's taking the Spanish 2, Avi Robert Hammer. You're welcome. Here, 1 second. Here we go. World language. And achievement in mathematics is presented to junior who took AP Cal, Avi Yakov Skolnick. Congratulations, Avi. Thank you. All right. And effort in mathematics is presented to another junior who is taking Algebra 2 in Mr. McLean's class, Felix John Tyrer. Congratulations. All right. And the next award is Achievement in Science, is presented to senior who took actually physics in Ms. McCabe's class, Benjamin Spahn Kelly. And effort in science is presented to another senior who took chemistry in Mr. McLean's class, Aaron Harry Babro. All right. And we also present an overall academic achievement and effort. An overall academic award is given to student who perform consistently well in all the subjects he took this year. And academic overall achievement award is presented to this young man, sophomore, who strive for academic excellence in all subjects and perform well in each one of them. And it's my pleasure to present this award to Benjamin Matthew Luther. And finally, we have overall academic effort award. This is the freshman who achieved a remarkable academic success with his commendable self-discipline and diligence throughout the term in all the subjects he took. And it's my pleasure to present this award to Joshua Solomon Lang. Thank you so much.
So this year we did clubs on Friday afternoon. In years past, we did it on Saturday morning. Who knows with the new schedule when we'll do it next year. But Mr. Vincent, if you could come forward and present the awards for clubs and club advisors.
All right, club advisors, come on up, please. Thank you, thank you.
running gardening club, we've got the lovely Miss Overstrom. Running science club, we've got Mr. McLean. Rock by here.
Thank you. Oh my God. That is fantastic.
There we go.
All right, who's starting? Shall I start? Yes. All right. The Creative Writing Club Award goes to a senior who's skilled in world building in story form. He takes his time. He focuses on the details. He creates these enormous apocalyptic landscapes and civilizational clashes. Mr. G actually knows his work a bit better than I do. So is there anything you'd like to say about
That's really
this?
well said. And within those large global clashes, there are focuses on very moving portrayals of individuals in conflict.
The Creative Writing Award goes to Joseph Paul Sullivan.
Thank you so much.
And if I may continue for a moment, if you'd like to read some of his work, one of his stories is included in the 2020-2021 edition of Good Stuff literary magazine. You'll find the stories and artwork and photographs of quite a few of you guys in here, including many seniors: Aaron Bobrow, Kyle Elliott, Nate Schofield, just to name a few. So this is what it looks like in the back. And thanks to Joshua Lang and Ben Matthews, and a couple times Avi Skolnick for helping with this year's edition. So at the end of this award ceremony, you can help yourself to a copy. They'll be over here.
I will go next.
Yeah, let's go.
I was leading the astronomy club, and this award for outstanding participation in astronomy is going to certainly the most dedicated member of the astronomy club. He was always there, always on time, despite our cloudy weather all term and our actual lack of stars. He brought the stars inside, so this award goes to Benjamin Kelly.
All right, so I hosted the gardening club this year, and we had a great term after the quarantine, of course. We got a lot done in the couple of weeks that we had, and I think we're going to have a really great garden for you guys to come back to in the fall. So get really excited for your favorite fruits and vegetables. But I am up here to honor one specific member of the gardening club who really, from the time that he came to Woodhall, brought his all, was really interested in planting the garden, what to plant. He was really interested specifically in corn and tomatoes and watermelons. So you will be seeing 2 of those 3 crops in our garden. No corn, sorry. But he was even the only one out weeding with me at one point last week before a storm rolled in. So this term's gardening award goes to Daniel Frischberg.
Okay, so chess club this term. This individual, he's a very good chess player. I would say, is afraid to play me, but he has his own chess set and likes to use it and brings it. And this award goes to Benjamin Luther Matthews.
Okay, you're absolutely right.
Yep.
Hi. All right, so we will be presenting the award for outstanding participation in yearbook. The yearbook has been
has been a challenge this year. Our main time to work, we were in quarantine, so originally we were thinking that it was going to be a fall release, but the one exciting thing is that there will be yearbooks today, because when called by our yearbook advisor, we were told, all right, if you can finish your book in 10 days, mind you, we had maybe 30% of it finished, you might be able to get it by the end of your term. And this individual started out the year placing random circles on pages, and he thought that that was going to be the student portion. This student advocated very passionately about some ideas that didn't quite make it into the yearbook, but in those last 10 days, he was with us throughout the entire time. He gave up study hall time, free time, all of his time to work with us. And so we will be presenting this spring term award to Zachary Colin Blair.
Congratulations.
Thank you. They were actually really good circles.
All right, so I'm Mr. Marcinek. This is Mr. Bliss, and we ran Rock Band Club for the whole year. Mr. Bliss?
Yeah, so just a shout out to all the guys in Rock Band to make Friday afternoons a lot of fun. The guy who's getting the term award tonight was always there and taught me a lot about music, turned me on to a lot of different sort of genres and bands, and we always had fun listening to music. He would bring a speaker, we listen to music. And I would just encourage this student to continue to play music because he's very talented. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he spent a lot of the term refining his skills with guitar and most notably piano. So the term award for Rock Band Club goes to Henry Lippman.
So, hi, Mr. McLean. I'm presenting the Outstanding Participation in Science Club Award. Now, Science Club, we had some brilliant ideas going into this term, doing a long-term project, trying to figure out if we could do some circuitry work, and then the quarantine hit again, so everything pushed to the side. But this student kind of came back from quarantine ready to go and did not let that stop us. He was there every single day. And he was willing to get down and dirty, whether it be digging up mulch for our carrots, going into streams with me just to make some biospheres, and in the end supporting local businesses at a local ice cream shop, as we talked about sustainability and local work. So this award is going to Felix Tyre.
So up next, we are going to be doing the Residential Life Awards. And this has been a pretty interesting year to be a dorm parent because whenever we were onboarding students or we had to do quarantine, this also became the wait staff, the cleaning staff, taking trash out, running meals, doing everything. And in the time that I have been here, I couldn't have dreamt of a better team to be ending my time at Woodhall with. Mr. McWilliams, thank you so much for coming in with an eager and dedicated spirit. Thank you for all of the thought that you put behind the scenes on each and every single one of these boys, so determined to build relationships with them. Miss Overstrom coming in with such a go-get-em attitude and finding ways to have fun. We are getting you a Tiffany tiara, so that is coming. No worries there. Senor Booth, it's just been a journey of growth with you, and just watching you evolve into an adult mentor extraordinaire has been such a huge blessing and exciting. Mr. McLean, you good sir, thank you for the tender spirit that you've consistently brought to these boys and to the dorm and to our community. G-man. I mean, Mr. G, okay? Mr. G has a really special place in my heart because I came in and was making a lot of changes and doing different things, and you were always along for the ride and always there to just be like, that kid just needs to stop. So thank you for that. Thank you for all of your spirit, and I really appreciate it. Mr. Marcinek, thank you for your dedication. Thank you for your playful energy. We can't make study hall longer, but I have told Sasha that that's an interest of yours, and we'll see if we can do it. But thank you truly, and also just for all the communication behind the scenes. And the last two over there, Tuesday duty team. So we had a lot of fun. Mr. Scannell, thank you for the ladder and introducing me to that joyful activity. But thank you for the work and time that you put in with these boys off the clock, and just being around with them and loving them. And Mr. Bliss, you were a student leader with me, and it's incredible to see you reaching your dreams and to see how you're evolving. I am so proud of you, so blessed to have met you at Millbrook, so excited that you're here, and so excited for what lies ahead for you next. So can we please make some noise for these wonderful volunteers? Have at it.
Sure. I already have my mask off. So.
Alrighty.
French dorm parents. So for the French Dormitory Citizenship Award, this is going to a student that I believe kind of holds up the values of what we wanted French to be throughout the whole year, not just this term. As someone that's kind of really relaxed, chill, that really wants to just kind of enjoy life as it is, and kind of just make it better through the little things. If anyone wants to say
I'll just
anything.
add a little bit. He approached every situation and either added the levity to it that it needed or brought sort of like a more thoughtful seriousness to it. And having been right above the Mergio room, could hear downstairs a lot of people that he brought into French, which is sometimes the dorm that's kind of on the periphery. And we played Nintendo Switch a lot, Super Smash Brothers. He lost a lot to me, and he was a really good sport about it. He only cried once, and so happy to give this award to Nate Schofield and
I seek to deny that claim.
So I'll start, and if you want. So this young man always put a smile on my face, gets me in a better mood. He's doing it right now, believe it or not. And during the quarantine, when we were doing so much physical labor, carrying out garbage and carrying in meals and all that stuff, this was one student who, the boys weren't allowed to be out of their rooms, but he would frequently just find that time to go to the bathroom or something, and was always saying, can I take the trash out for you? And he's continued to do that beyond the quarantine, help out with all that kind of thing, and has just been a very happy, positive presence in the dorm. Do you guys want to add anything, or do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I'll add, this student is not a recognized leader, but he definitely leads anyway. And I think that's a big deal, right? To kind of take the reins and to lead, even if you don't have that title. So I think that's something that we are grateful for from the student, and I think he's well deserving of this award.
And I just wanted to add that this student also goes out of his way when clashing, butting heads with adult mentors or peers to stop and chat, talk about it, apologize. And that is something that we can all take away from. And there have been moments where he's really shown that he's grown to know how to be the bigger man and apologize. And it's really makes me proud.
And from seeing him last year in the dorm to this year in the dorm, the differences are pretty big. And knowing that he's going to go off to college next year and do well in those dorms, it's pretty obvious from what we've seen here.
So the Tower Door Citizenship Award goes to Kyle Scott Elliott.
Thank you.
Congrats, Kyle.
Ladies and gentlemen, Baldrick. Oh, missed you. All right, so I get to next present the Phoenix Award for Spring Term, and this award goes to a student who really embodies what we hope to see in a young gentleman of the Woodhall School. And to this young man, it's been interesting to watch his arc, because when he came in, he would be in my office for a lot of different things that were problematic. But at his core was always a tender heart and a tender spirit that needed a little bit more guidance and a little bit more understanding. And he delved into that work. And this year, he has been a constant force of support throughout the year. Support for many of the adult mentors, support in terms of doing physical labor projects that he just decided to take on his own that most wouldn't do. It took away from some work detail things that I wanted kids to do, but that's okay. And also would take the time to ride his bike and sometimes throw things at my window, which it was little wood chips, nothing broke, but just reaching out to say, how are you doing? Which when you're in the work that we do and it's always busy, you don't always get that, how are you doing? And it's just been a joy to get to know the student, to see his growth, and I can't wait to see what he does in the future. And the Phoenix Award for Spring Term goes to Kyle Scott Elliott. Thank you.
Congratulations, Kyle. So this is the Growth in Communication Skills Award for the spring term. And I think this student is going to be surprised that he's being recognized for his growth in communication skills. He's a second-year boy, 11th grader. He can still be pretty rigid in his thinking. He can still tie himself up in knots. But he really leaned into the communications process here and his relationships with adult mentors, in particular Mr. Funsock, Mr. Marcinek. And he participated in the last committee where he was actually the last student we talked about. And he spoke very passionately and respectfully about what was going on for him. And I noticed in the room it got really quiet. And it wasn't because you were bored or you were sleepy. I was watching all of you. You were really listening. And a lot of the frustrations that he expressed in terms of communicating with his family or trying to reach his goals, I realized many of you were listening attentively because you identified with what he was saying. And so that piece of looking at himself and beginning to express himself and advocate for himself responsibly, this boy is done. It's really just the first step, and I don't know what the future will bring, but I wanted to recognize him and his efforts and his growth this term. And he only has one middle name, Miles William Lasser. So we're going to start actually with the volleyball coaches. We're going to start with the volleyball coaches. This is a novel sport at the Woodhall School. We sort of quarantine-inspired sport. Mr. Funsock gets all the credit. So if you had fun in volleyball, thank Mr. Funsock. If you didn't, thank Mr. Funsock.
You want to start?
Yeah. So this person, he was relatively quiet, but when he wanted to say something, people listened. We usually picked teams with captains, and he was usually a top pick for his impeccable serving skills.
Yeah, I will say that this person saw incredible growth in the sport over the semester. or over the term. I'm sorry. Again, in his serving skills especially, but just growth as a player, and was often known to tell his peers, "Come on, guys, let's just play volleyball."
And there are a lot of people that are worth recognizing in volleyball. Avi Hammer, you did, in about 1 month, you did as much damage to my eardrums as the Army did in 9 years. So thank you for the help with my disability claim, by the way. Graham Rivers, you were by far the greatest liability on any one of your teams. Jake Wire, we only had you for 1 day as a ball boy, but your presence was sorely felt as soon as you took your talents elsewhere. And even Jack Wells and Graham Adair, normally Mr. G's job, just clearing out the barracks, is not that much of a sport, but for him, the amount of times you made him walk back and forth from the gym and French Hall and up those stairs, if he had a coach's award, I'm sure it'd be split evenly between the two of you. Philip Silverman, while Avi was wreaking all sorts of trauma on my hearing, appreciate the silence is golden outlook on life that you have. It brought me some peace. And then to Ben Kelly, Sean Finnegan, and Zach Blair, my lovely Three Stooges. The award for comedy always comes in 3. But to wrap this all up, like Ms. Overstrom said, just the words of, "Come on, guys, can we play volleyball?" It's really reassuring, and I just enjoy it. We all enjoyed as coaches feeling like we had at least one student on our side. So without any further ado, Henry Lippman.
So this sport's been around for at least 20 years. It used to be called Outdoor Education. Now it's called Outdoor Challenge. I was going to do Outdoor Ed next year, where you just hang outside with Mr. G. I think it would actually get a lot of kids to sign up for that. But if the Outdoor Challenge coaches could come forward, please. OC.
Just gonna make it public right now. I'm not gonna be able to top that. That was awesome. Yeah, so we got a lot done in Outdoor Challenge this term. A lot of hiking. We went to what's it called? Mount Tom.
Mount Tom, yes.
A lot of White's Woods hiking. Water days. Big shout out, Senor Booth. Muchas gracias for helping us out with the water days. Very much appreciated. Yeah, so we wanted to give this award to really the most exemplary of the Outdoor Challenge team members. This boy was always first on the bus, great conversationalist on the bus, on the trails, really just going the extra mile to make everyone's hike a lot better. You guys have anything to say?
I would say that he's kind of the person that I always could really kind of look forward to just kind of seeing bounce around on the trail and kind of know that he can go off and do his thing. He might find an animal or two and ask to pick it up multiple times. And I say, no, you can't pick up the frog. That's not ours. It's nature's. But I find that his avid love of nature just kind of always got me excited to go for sports that day.
Yeah, so we're awarding the Outdoor Challenge Coaches Award to Connor McCarty.
Lacrosse coaches, come on up.
I'll start and I'll throw it to you.
Yeah.
And then I'll Kyle, and then you can end it, Chad.
Cool.
All right. So this lacrosse season was marked by intense passions. Some of them even related to lacrosse sometimes. But it turned out to be a pretty fun season. And I'd really like to thank Coach Bliss for taking the reins. He had a vision for making this lacrosse season as similar to a real lacrosse season as we could, starting with drills and working our way all the way up to more intense scrimmages. And that's exactly what we did. So what would you like to say about it?
Yeah, no, just thanks to Coach Noonan and the players too, because it's not, I realized from the start that it wasn't going to be easy to show up every day and play lacrosse. It's not, especially not looking forward to a game on Friday or on a Wednesday. So I got that, and I felt for you guys on that, but thank you for coming out and playing, because that's what it was all about.
All right, so we have 2 awards to give out. This award is the first annual Toughness Award. I was I was going to call it the Human Catapult Award, but I thought your parents might find that strange on a certificate. So you can also think of it as a sort of co-coaches award. This player, a senior, really did launch himself ballistically into unsuspecting teammates with great frequency in the first half of the year. But he really actually, which is illegal, by the way. Can't do that. But he matured, and by the end of the season, he was not only one of the toughest players out there, but also one of the best. And I'm still carrying a few bruises from some of our clashes above the crease in our last 2 scrimmages there at the end of the season. So the Toughness Award goes to Kyle Scott Elliott.
All right, second award for lacrosse this year, we've got a coaches award. And pretty simply put, without this player, none of the members of the lacrosse team would have had as much fun. This player came to practice every day, playing the toughest position in sports, in my opinion. He was our goalie. Lacrosse goalie is you wear very minimal pads for the amount of a barrage that you get every day. One highlight of the season, we did towards the end. We started playing the shooting game, where basically all of us would line up. Goalie would stand in the goal, and we would fire shots at him over and over again from about 15 yards. And I think he saved about maybe 1 or 2 goals winning in the first 40 shots. It was unbelievable. So thank you, Chaz, for coming out and.
Thank you, guys.
Mrs. Vincent is here to present and recognize the Woodhall players for the spring term.
Well, I'm only giving 1 award. Can you believe it? But I'd also like to recognize a bunch of people. To start with, Mr. Spalding, I just want to thank you so much for these years of collaboration. Mr. Spalding, you in many seasons, but particularly this season, were so just game to try to make the vision happen and do it with such excellence. So I needed to start out by telling you thank you for everything. And Mr. Booth, thank you for joining us this year, this season. It would not have been the same without you. You literally did a million things that probably weren't related to marketing, from shopping for water to actually putting up posters. Thank you. So I start with, yes, please, let's hear it from Mr. Booth. I I start by saying thank you to these two individuals because we just had a great season. I hope you as an audience enjoyed it. I hope you as members of the Woodhall players enjoyed it. And really, this team is what made it so. Also, to our awesome administration, thank you. I wanted to, Mr. Woodhall maybe can't hear me, but thank you for the Woody, Mr. Woodhall. I don't think we have your drink waiting for you. So sorry. Maybe next time.
Well, I just want the Evian for the Woody's radiator.
It's coming. Mr. Booth? So another group that really made this season of the Woodhall players, and particularly this last production, so powerful for us who were participating, were our thespian troupe. So this year we had the honor of starting a thespian troupe with the Educational Theater Association. So this is an international honor society, and I would love it if our charter members of Troop 8975 could stand up. And let's hear it for our troop. We have our officers would be our president, James Jimenez, our vice president, Max Lipkin, our secretary, BK, and our treasurer, Bora, who's not in here. So thank you to our thespian troupe. Thank you, thespian troupe. A special thank you would be to BK and Joseph, who came out to help serve food in the cold and the rain. Thank you to the two of you publicly for that sacrifice. So a lot to get to this last production. This last production was such a joy to be a part of. As a director, we had really 6 incredible cast members. We had a trio of actors, Aaron, Lucas, and Nate, with Adam doing double duty. These actors were so selfless, so talented, and they were so willing to go on the journey with each other, and they put up with each other. They sought to make each other look good. They were truly an incredibly professional group of actors. So I'd love to just hear a cheer for these guys. Our technicians, we couldn't do it without them. Max, you've stage managed every single show I've ever done. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. But I'm thanking everybody, all of our tech. I know. Thank you. As you heard, Adam did double duty. Thank you, Adam. And Josh, you jumped right in there with us, and I hope you don't want to leave anytime soon from the theater. So as you can see, so much contribution from all of these members. How to even begin? I could offer an award to each one. But I decided to offer one for this show, and I wanted to call it the Woodhall Players Award. And I believe that this award really epitomizes what we're all about and my vision upon coming into the legacy of this incredible theater company and this incredible school. And I believe the Woodhall Players Award is about promoting a student that is, yes, putting up a high level of ability, but also showing such a beautiful ensemble spirit and the willingness to work with anyone and the willingness to continue and go very far. And I sincerely hope this person will, as my segue wasn't as smooth as I thought. There we go. Okay, so it is with incredible delight that I present the Woodhall Players Award to Joshua Solomon Lang. And hiding behind my mask, I also have one very special thespian letter to present. So Max Lipkin, you reached the level of honor thespian. So this means that he's like, can I? Congratulations, Max. So this means Max has completed 600 hours in the theater. So you can thank him for that contribution. Thank you, Max. And thank you all so very much.
So, Mr. Vincent, this is your 5th year at the Woodhall School, and this is the 5th year that we've been doing student leadership together. And as I noted earlier in the school year, one of the great contributions that you've made over the last half decade is that you've reinvigorated student leadership, the program, what we do with the boys, how it ties in with the mission and the philosophy and the core values. So I just wanted to thank you, and that will be part of your legacy.
Thank
So
you, Mr.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So do we get to say who the new ones are?
Yes. Absolutely. And a lot of adventures. One of the big changes that Mr. Vincent made, and none of you remember this, maybe some of the teachers, we actually used to do a camping trip as part of student leadership orientation. And I don't know if you want to tell that story, that first camping trip there.
I learned you were a liar.
And why is that?
The first camping trip I remember because we has any of the leaders that are now, did you guys do that? Yes. Yeah, you did. Yeah, okay, so James did. So the first time we did it, he's like, guys, it's not that bad. You go uphill, and then it gets level, and it's level for the rest of the way. And he said that, and about 4 hours later, we were still on an incline and still going up with like 60, 80 pounds on our back. And I made a little mental note to myself to take everything he said with a grain of salt.
Yes,
so,
yeah.
Connor Fennell, if you're watching, you were my ally.
Yes. Yeah, so we no longer do the hikes, which is probably a good thing for all of us.
Yes.
But really, everything you've done with orientation and how the boys engage in the process. And I just think about how many boys were interested this year, and the earnestness and the care with which they approached this process. That wasn't like that before you came. And it really has changed, and it has an impact on all aspects of student life. So thank you. But you get to do the honors.
Yes. All right. So speaking of this process, we have just finished and selected the student leaders for next year, and they are Max Lipkin. We can applaud after. Graham Rivers. Avi Ava Skolnick. I had to do the Avi. I had to do that. Matthew Alberg. And this last person I give a special shout out to, because part of this process is sometimes we tell each student when you do it, you get a letter. And it gives you some feedback in that letter. And sometimes that feedback is, there's stuff you got to work on, reapply next year. And for this student, there was some stuff because I wanted to see him find his own voice a little bit more, stand on his own 2 feet a little bit more, and then be ready to take on this role. And he's done that work, and I'm so excited and proud of you, Jack Wells. So there they are.
Come on.
Yo, what's up, stream? Yeah.
So what do you say, boys? Next year, student leadership orientation, road trip to North Carolina. What do you say?
I'm down.
Sure.
I'm down.
Sounds fun. All right, congratulations, boys.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. What's up, stream? Yo.
Oh, wait a minute, right? No, we're going to do the yearbook dedication. Then. Okay. Yeah. If I could have the yearbook staff and advisors come up to present this year's yearbook dedication. You can applaud. Oh, there's going to be some dead streaming. You want me to? You want to sing, BK? You want to give a review of Little Fires Everywhere? Yeah.
All right. Hello. So I'm Mr. Booth. This is Mr. McWilliams. Whoop. So before, go ahead, clap for me. Yeah. There we go. Oh, yes. A standing ovation. All right. All right. So, so before I introduce the yearbook staff, I would like to present the theme, and then I will introduce the staff, and then we will introduce the dedication. So I wrote a little something, so pardon me. So the 2021 school year has been like no other. That is for sure. We've had to relearn what it means to be a community from 6 feet apart and with half of our faces covered. Well, not right now. Going into the school year, I know I wasn't the only one hesitant, scared, and confused. Over the summer, I worried, stressed, and prepared for the unknown. It wasn't until we were back on campus that I felt hope. The embers of our community began to ignite, and we began adapting to challenges so we could make the most of it. All this year has had so many restrictions, we worked around it. I can still remember the fall term. Outside my apartment was the spot. Everyone was always sitting on the pavement, benches and picnic tables, enjoying each other's company and trying not to have their magic cards fly away. I can still remember Mr. Woodhall asking if it was okay to put a bench outside my bedroom window. And aside from Ben Kelly ruining a nap I was so eager for a few weeks ago, I was glad that we created that space. In those moments, I was okay that things weren't normal because we found a way to connect. And like any fire, if you don't stoke it, it can go out. And a few times ours almost did. But I was reminded by little moments that the fire of community hadn't burnt out. It just needed some more fuel, more opportunity to burn bright. This year, like the phoenix that represents each and every one of us, we rose from the ashes. I'm proud to introduce the 2020-2021 yearbook theme, From the Ashes. Now, if I could have the yearbook staff, please come up. So as I present with them, as I present the yearbook, I would like them to stop and to share a little bit of what they did. So first up, we have Mr. Zachary Blair.
Yo, I was miscellaneous, man. I just whatever they needed, I did. That's about it. Yeah.
All right. Our editor, Brad Blanchard.
Yeah, I was the editor. I did whatever they needed me to do, and it was a fun time.
All right, Avi Hammer.
I had the first draft of, or I designed the first draft of the yearbook cover. Although my art skills are really not good, it was the start of it. But kind of like everyone else, I just did what I was asked to.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
So if you don't like the cover, blame Avi.
No.
Mr. Chaz Sterling.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank
Yes.
you.
And Jake Wire.
I like crop the photos.
Yes. All right, if you would hold this for me. All right, so now it's time to present the dedication. So every year, the yearbook receives a new theme and is dedicated to a faculty member who made a difference in our community. While all the faculty work tirelessly for this community, this person has worked harder than any other to make sure we are safe and happy, even with an ongoing global pandemic. While he's leaving us this year, his teachings, advice, and guidance will stick with us for years to come. This man has taught me, and each and every one of us, that it's okay to fall down, make mistakes, and rise from the ashes. Please join me in welcoming Vince B. Vincent, recipient of this year's citation. Now you can look at it. As a final portion, I'm going to have the yearbook staff help me pass out the seniors their yearbooks. Underclassmen, it was quite a surprise. We overnighted one box of yearbooks because we were originally told that they weren't going to come until next week. And surprisingly enough, all of them came today, so we didn't even have to overnight. Sorry, Mr. Woodhall. Thanks for the company card. So.
Are we just gonna like go give it?
Yeah, just go give it to them, and then we'll get off the stage.
Just seniors, right?
Yep, just the seniors that's labeled.
The last page of the book is compliments of me. Yeah, let's go. Last page. Last page, best page.
Gentlemen, if we can just have your attention for one more piece of this evening. I know it's tempting to look at the yearbook. I got a sneak peek. Congratulations, Mr. Booth and staff. It's fantastic. But if we could just close them, I know it's hard. It's hard. But this is for you, seniors. So we have a tradition at the end of this ceremony. It's the torch lighting ceremony, and we're just going to do that in a moment. And it's funny. It's Phoenix rising from the ashes, and fire does have a large part of life here at Woodhall. Literally, right, with the fires that Mr. G makes in the fireplace, chef and the outdoor grill, and of course the bonfire pit. And it is such a powerful force, and it's also a powerful symbol, certainly in our mascot, the Phoenix. But this idea of giving light and warmth in the darkness. And as we dim the lights, wow. How's that for a cue, Mrs. Vincent? As we dim the lights, we talked a lot about the struggles this year that we faced with COVID, with the quarantines, with the uncertainty, with the outbreak. And yes, we had some dark nights of the soul, certainly as a community, and I think many of us did as individuals. So this, I think, ceremony that we're about to have takes on special significance this year. But I also want you, each and every one of you, gentlemen of Woodhall, whether this is your first year or your fourth year, to go back to those times before Woodhall, and maybe some of those times at Woodhall when you were having that dark night of the soul. And I'm always reminded of a quotation by George Eliot, who tells us we have enough light given to us to guide our own steps. We have enough light given to us to guide our own steps. So in a moment, I'm going to head to the back of the theater and read the name of each senior. And I want you to keep that in mind as you head up to the bonfire. Literally, you'll be carrying a light. But figuratively, that light, that strength that got you to this place today and tomorrow when we celebrate your commencement, that comes from within, from each and every one of you. Ethan James Beckner. Bradford Tobin Blanchard. Aaron Harry Bobrow. James Kieran Donaghy.
I almost forgot the most important part. I'm going to commit arson.
Kyle Scott Elliott. Harold Solomon Freeman.
Whoa, 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 whoa. It's fine. It'll be lit.
David James Jimenez. Benjamin Spawn Kelly.
I've never been trusted to hold one of these before.
Tyler Lyndon Kranz. Nathan Connolly Schofield. Philip Lawrence Silverman. Adam Tyler Stortz. Joseph Paul Sullivan. Bora Zanali.
I totally forgot Owen, but that's beside the point.
Oh. Well, that's because we're saving the best for last. Owen Crow Eichfeld. I knew if we had an extra torch, we'd had an extra student. Sorry about that, bud. You should have said something. And that's it, gents. You're welcome to join the seniors up at the bonfire. Yeah.
You forget at least everyone, at least like my first year. You forgot new shots. You always forget the last person.
What?
You forgot new shots my first year.
I'll work on it for next year to forget you.
I'm taking you to give me for repeated.